This is the Fantasy Football 411 podcast. The best place to get the latest 411 on your fantasy football team. Here are your hosts, Alex and Amanda.
This is the Fantasy Football 411 podcast. The best place to get the latest 411 for your fantasy football team. I am your host, Alex.
And I'm Amanda.
We have another host here today. Okay.
Gosh.
All right. Anyways, that's if you're watching this on YouTube. You could watch us there. You could watch us on our social media on Facebook. Find us at FanFootball411. As you could probably already tell if you've been following the show, you wouldn't have found us anywhere last week.
We were too flustered trying to get ourselves together for the week one.
We had two drafts and we were just, it was just too much for 1 week. Plus, luckily, nothing really happened last week that we were like, oh my God, we have to do an episode anyways. Besides, our draft, which we did. I tweeted our rosters. I even posted it on our socials. But if you didn't see that, we're going to quickly run through that on who we drafted in both of our leagues really quick. I'll start it out with my later haters team. I did get Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback. I felt that pain this week. We'll talk more about that in a minute. I got Ezekiel Elliott as a running back, DeAndre Swift as another running back, Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, George Kittle, Chase Claypool. There's no kicker. There's no kicker in this league. It's an extra flex. So I had Devontae Smith in there. Broncos defense. On my bench, I had James Conner, Justin Jackson, Trey Sermon, Devin Singletary, James White, and Terrace Marshall. I had Curtis Samuel. He's now on IR.
I had Matthew Stafford, Derrick Henry. I have Tyson Williams in tonight. Calvin Ridley, AJ Brown, TJ Hawkinson, Robbie Anderson. LaVishka. Did I say that right?
Oh, here we go.
LaVishka Chanel.
LaVisca.
What?
LaVisca. Okay, but you said LaVishka.
Oh, LaVishka.
LaVishka.
Charlotte. And the Green Bay Packers. On my bench, I had Tevin Coleman, Chase Edmonds, Darrell Henderson, Tony Pollard, Jamal Williams, and Elijah Moore.
All right. And then in the other league that we're in, I did get the Angry Infant as my quarterback. I got Kyler Murray. I get a kick out of him. I think it's hilarious. He's an angry little infant running around the field. Looks like it. Just, if you don't believe me, here's a picture of him right here. Doesn't he look like a little angry little infant if you're watching this on YouTube? So, anyways, I got Austin Eckler. I got him. I got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Devontae Adams, CeeDee Lamb, Tyler Higbee, T. Higgins, Younghoe Koo, because there is a kicker in that league. And then I got the Patriots defense. On my bench, I have Javonte Williams, Tyson Williams, Robbie Anderson, Marquez Callaway. I was about to say Marquez Callaway because I think it might be Marquez. But Deontay Johnson, Curtis Samuel as well in that league, and LaVishka Chenault in that league.
I have Justin Herbert, Aaron Jones, Najee Harris, Cooper Kupp, AJ Brown, Kyle Pitts, Adam Thielen, Tyler Bass as my kicker. I had the Colts defense. Joe Burrow is on my bench along with AJ Dillon, Darrell Henderson, Ty Johnson, Trey Sermon, Corey Davis, and Marvin Jones.
So if you were paying attention this past week, you would know how those players did. I mean, Kyler Murray had a crazy game, 40 points in this league. Whereas in the other league, I have Aaron Rodgers. He got negative 0.68. Where I did play Amanda in that league, and she is beating me.
She has won.
Yeah. I mean, she is going to win. I mean, I'm not going to beat around the bush at all. It's 113-97, and she has Tyson Williams in tonight. She's got it. There's no way, unless he gets negative. How many negatives?
Don't put that out there.
Anyways, so she's winning week one against me. I'll let her have it because then I'm going to just win everyone here on out.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So that's our drafts for week one. There wasn't really anything, like I said, that stood out with these teams besides, their matchups this week, which were insane. Nobody predicted that Green Bay Packers were going to choke as much as they did. I didn't think it was going to happen, at least, especially that much. Like, no Green Bay Packer had a good game. And from what I saw, I mean, I think Aaron Jones even had like 4 points. Mm-hmm. But Zeke, I expected Tampa Bay to shut him down. He got shut down, so it was just a bunch of random things happen that you didn't expect to happen. Healthy scratches that didn't start, Zach Moss, Trey Sermon. There's been a lot, in week 1. It was definitely a weird week for fantasy. But yeah, so we're going to get right into it in this episode. This will be the first episode where we talk about waivers. So we're going to get into the waiver segment. Before that, we're going to do a 411, and then we're going to close out the episode with a little preview on what to expect in week 2 with the matchups for the players on our teams. But, we'll mix in a few others because obviously not everybody drafts the way we do. So to start off the 411, we're going to tell you a few injuries that happen that are pretty fantasy relevant, and then we'll get into some fun stats or some things that happened.
Jerry Jeudy expected to be out 6 to 8 weeks with a high ankle sprain.
Zach Moss was the healthy scratch I just mentioned, was inactive. He was inactive with no injury listed, so that's just a freak thing. Same thing happened to Trey Sermon, like I said.
Raheem Mostert questionable with a knee injury.
8 weeks, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it came out.
Yeah, I think it's 8 weeks. Ryan Fitzpatrick left the game with a hip injury. Everybody's calling him Hips Patrick now. No, that's how I heard that, Ryan Hips Patrick.
Oh, no.
We have yet to learn the severity of this injury, but I've heard...
At least 3 weeks.
Yeah, but I think it could even be more extensive than that, so we might be seeing Heineke for longer. But either way, that does hurt McLaurin's value, but not bad. So here are some fun stats that we noted here. Lions running back DeAndre Swift did rush for 65 yards, had a touchdown, 8 receptions on 11 targets. I didn't play him because I heard last minute about the Jamal Williams starting over him, and I got frantic, and then Zach Moss not playing. I put Devin Singletary in, screwed me. But either way, Amanda would have beat me, so I can't be too mad about that. But Jamal Williams was the other running back there. He had 9 targets, 8 receptions, 56 yards. It was kind of an even split. He had a touchdown too. They had, I think it was like 25 and 24 points each of them had. But moving forward, I mean, not that this is like a waiver thing anyways, but moving forward, DeAndre Swift is going to be the RB1 there. I mean, Anthony Lynn loves throwing to the running back. So I think DeAndre Swift is going to be safe. I mean, I hope for my sake he is because I don't have Jamal Williams. That's how I feel about that.
And I think because I made wide receiver Tyrell Williams, he's out on concussion protocol. So who knows? If he'll be active week 2. So if Jamal Williams is maybe still out there. Right.
If he is, I mean, either way, yeah, if he's on waivers, I would definitely get him. But TJ Hawkinson is the only other pass catcher there that's going to be really dominant. Dominant.
We have QB Jameis Winston. I mean, who saw this coming? 5 touchdowns, completed 14 of 20 passes for 148 yards, winning the game 38-3 over Green Bay. That was a weird game. So could he be a fantasy option for week 2 on the road to Carolina?
I guess we'll find out in the waiver segment. So Jets running backs, Tevin Coleman rushed 9 times for 24 yards. Michael Carter rushed 4 times for 16 yards. Ty Johnson rushed 4 times. That was a embarrassing game. I feel like the whole first half, I was seeing Sam Darnold as a rookie again, and it wasn't fun to watch at all. Even though, like, ironically, he was playing against Sam Darnold. It wasn't the greatest game, and obviously, if you watched it, you would have saw Mekhi Becton go down. He had a dislocated kneecap. He's out, I think they said 8 weeks. Yeah, so second half, I feel like Zach Wilson did play a lot better. Team kind of turned it around, almost came back for a fight, but just came up short, and they can't play like that when they play Patriots this weekend. It's just they're going to have to step it up.
Yeah, the backfield was a little messy. But we have Robbie Anderson on the Panthers. He had 3 targets, only caught 1 pass for a 57-yard touchdown. So in that game, he kind of fell behind DJ Moore and McCaffrey, taking the kind of like the 3rd seat there. So we'll see.
I think if you compare his year last year to this year, the difference is going to be that McCaffrey's there now. So all those passes that McCaffrey caught and all the role he's taken up this year, I feel like all those would have been going to Robbie Anderson last year. So I think he is going to take a hit this year. I don't think you drop him or anything. I think you just kind of hold on to him and flex him or something. But he is a deep threat. It was embarrassing to us as Jets fans to watch him fly like a jet in the end zone.
But I think, was it Sam Darnold and Zach Wilson both ended with 19 points? Is it something? I think they ended up.
Oh, yeah, like 21. Yeah, I think it was like 21 points.
I think it was 19.
No, I think it was 21. But anyways, we're going to move on to the waivers segment now. So let me explain this one to you guys. So the way we're going to play this is who's hot, who's cold. So when we say who's cold, yeah, they're going to be on waivers in different places, but we don't really recommend picking them up right now. Like a lot of people might be hyping them up, but we're saying, we just don't want to, or at least which one of us is talking doesn't want to. But and who's hot, obviously go for that person. And that intro was totally designed by Amanda, just so you know. But anyways, we'll start off with the cold. So there's only two here really that stuck out to me. There's probably more. I mean, I will mention just, out of just throw it out there, Elijah Mitchell on the San Francisco 49ers, I think is a cold waiver for me because, yes, I'm a Trey Sermon owner, so maybe this is biased and hopeful, but I just feel like Trey Sermon is going to be in front of him. And like, obviously, if they play the Eagles this week and Trey Sermon doesn't deliver, then yeah, Elijah Mitchell is definitely going to be talked about now without Raheem Mostert there. But I think for now, I'm not going to be spending any fab on him.
The question is, if you didn't have Trey Sermon, would you be going for him?
Yeah, but I still wouldn't. That's a good question because I still wouldn't put any fab down. If anything, I'd say like a couple dollars because he's not going to win you a league. I mean, he's a rookie running back. What is he, 6th round running back?
I think so.
And,
I think Trey was 4.
And yeah, I mean, obviously he could turn out to be an art. Look at James Robinson, undrafted. But Kyle Shanahan splits up the backfield so much that it's never going to be one running back. It's always going to mix up. I just think Trey Sermon has a higher draft capital, so they're going to use him more. I would just kind of, keep Elijah Mitchell on your radar.
I'd say if you need help this week, then I would say snatch him.
But would you say he's a cold waiver or a hot waiver in your book?
I would probably put him as a hot waiver.
Really?
I would put him like he was on the burner for a really long time.
Oh, jeez.
And then you had to move him off the hot burner to kind of like cool down a second. I feel like maybe he's over there.
Who would you rather have, Trey Sermon or Elijah Mitchell?
Well, clearly, I don't know what's going on with Trey Sermon. So, yeah, I have him in a league too, and I don't know. I may try and have both of them and see who wins, and then drop the other.
James Robinson or Elijah Mitchell?
I didn't pay attention to James Robinson.
He didn't deliver as much as people wanted.
I know he didn't do well, but I don't know his stats.
But anyways, the first actual cold player that I wanted to mention here, besides Elijah Mitchell, I didn't even mean to talk about him that much, but Sterling Shepard is on some waiver wires out there. He's got picked up in a lot of drafts, especially by Giants fans. He did have 24.3 fantasy points this week, 1 touchdown, 9 targets, but it is the Giants and it is Daniel Jones. So they also have a crowded roster. By week 5, if he's consistently putting up these numbers, then consider me wrong. But for now, he's definitely cold to me. I don't think he's going to be putting up 20. If he does, it's only going to be like one more game, 24 points. I hope I'm wrong because that'll really surprise me. But I don't think he's going any higher than maybe 8 to 10 points each game. If anything, he might even get a goose egg here and there, especially when Kenny Galladay's back to full health. But that's just my take on him.
Christian Kirk with 24 fantasy points. He had 2 touchdowns, 5 targets, another crowded room. Can't trust. Sell it high. Can't trust it. Sell it high. I'm trying to read his notes.
Clearly, I wrote that if she's playing it out like this. But yeah, I would sell Christian Kirk high. I wouldn't really dump your fab on Christian Kirk right now. It's the same situation as Sterling Shepard. He has a busy roster there. You got Rondale Moore just drafted, DeAndre Hopkins, and AJ Green there, especially with the running back room there with Chase Edmonds and James Conner. I just wouldn't pick him up yet, especially if anything, couple bucks, same as Sterling Shepard. But go ahead with
who's hot.
Okay, so I guess she's just gonna announce the next segment.
I thought we were done. Anybody else who's cold?
No, nobody's cold. So who's hot? She was right. We moved on to the next section.
Okay.
Who's hot? All right. So Jameis Winston is the first one on my list. 39.6 fantasy points and 5 touchdowns versus the Saints. I think he's going to be a fantasy QB. I think you could play him every game. He has a few good games right now until his bye week. I forget the exact matchups, but he has a good stretch until about like week 5, and then you might be able to sell him high or trade whatever. I don't know if I would drop him at that point, but he does have some tough matchups. But one thing I've known about Jameis Winston in fantasy history is in competitive matchups, he actually does deliver pretty well. He doesn't ever choke, really. I mean, he throws a lot of interceptions, but he's always airing it out, and he's not that bad on his feet. So he's definitely a hot pickup for me right now. What's yours?
Zach Pascal. I don't know how long this is going to last, but he had 2 touchdowns, 4 out of 5 passes for 43 yards. It just seems like he's the reliable option for Wentz at this point. So I think we all thought it may be Pittman, but looks like Zach Pascal's coming in the lead there. So if you need somebody, he might not be bad.
So
what's your thoughts about Zach Pascal? I didn't get to hear it.
I'm not that crazy about him.
Okay.
I mean, Michael Pittman's there. Jonathan Taylor's there. I mean, you even told me earlier that Carson Wentz was throwing more to the running backs than the wide receivers anyways. Mm-hmm. I feel like that trend will continue. I mean, Zach Pascal will be putting up something. I don't think he's going to be putting up goose eggs, but I don't know. He's not hot in my book. I would definitely keep him down below. I would rather have Sterling Shepard than Zach Pascal, honestly.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And the final hot item on this list for us. Now, obviously, there's other waiver pickups, but these are the ones that stuck out to us, and we feel like they're worthy of a pickup, is David Njoku on the Browns, tight end on the Browns. He caught 3 of 5 targets for 76 yards, but played in 35 snaps, which was 59%, almost as much as Hooper, who played 38 snaps for 64%. So week 2, he's up against the Texans, so he could have immense tight end upside against the Texans. I mean, don't think the Texans are good just because they just beat the Jaguars. I mean, the Jaguars aren't the Jaguars this year. I mean, I don't know what the heck Urban Meyer is doing there, but it just was kind of embarrassing that the Texans were able to beat them the way that they did.
Kenneth Gainwell, the running back from the Eagles.
How'd he do?
He carried the ball 5 times for 32 yards and a touchdown and caught all 4 of his targets for 27 yards. So obviously they have Boston Scott there as well, but Boston played the first series of the night for the Eagles, but then gave way to Gainwell.
Another interesting one is Jalen Waddle on the Dolphins. He had 16 points, 6 targets, 4 receptions, 61 yards, 1 touchdown. That's pretty good. I mean, low volume there, but he's a Tyreek light in some people's books, so I think he's worth a pickup. I would, you're going to see him on waivers, I think, in most leagues. I would, if you're going to drop any money on him, if you're in a fab league, no more than $6 for Jalen Waddle. I think he has high potential more than the other wide receivers I mentioned.
Any thoughts on Juwan Johnson?
Oh, yeah, Juwan. Yeah, so Juwan Johnson on the Saints is a tight end / receiver. He's listed as a tight end on their depth chart, I believe. He is going to be competing with Adam Troutman on the team, who I believe is going to be targeted more than him. But the fact that he is kind of a hybrid and can kind of like, I mean, I'm not trying to compare him to Kyle Pitts, but Kyle Pitts could have technically been a wide receiver too. But Juwan Johnson does kind of, interest me. I don't know if I'm ready to drop a player from my team to pick him up. Like, I feel like a Terrace Marshall might have more potential than him, but he is on my radar. I am kind of watching to see what he does in week 2, but that's the thing though, about somebody like Juwan Johnson. If he does kill it in week 2, he's going to be, you're going to have to spend like a third of your budget on him on waivers, because obviously he's going to be, a top option at that point. Well, what's your take on him?
I'm not running to grab him just yet.
Same thing.
Yeah,
waiting.
I'd rather wait.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I couldn't really find any other waivers. Did you have any other ones or?
Mark Ingram, any thoughts on him?
No, but he did have a really funny press conference after the game.
Oh, share, will you?
You didn't see it?
No.
Oh, it was actually really funny.
Oh.
He was singing, he said Tyrod Taylor was a smooth operator and started singing Smooth Operator. It was pretty funny. Typical Mark Ingram fashion. But no, I wouldn't really rush to waivers for him. That's a crowded backfield.
You don't pick your waivers off of their singing skills.
Yeah, or their press conferences. Gotcha. Nope. Unless it's Fitzpatrick. You'd probably pick him up over his press conferences.
Fitz, I miss him.
Or Fitzpatrick, yeah.
Would you pick up his what's his name?
Heineke? No.
Heineke.
No. Yeah. I feel like there's better quarterbacks out there on the waiver wire. I mean, if you're in need, if you had Fitzpatrick, which I hope you didn't draft Fitzpatrick over some of the quarterbacks that are out there. I mean, there are going to be options. I'm seeing Roethlisberger still on waivers in a lot of leagues. But
I mean, what did he get last night?
He had like 20 something points. Oh no, he didn't. He had 14.
I was going to say, I don't know if we're watching the same game.
Either way, I think he's good though. I mean, he's up there. I think Jared Goff killed it. He had 33 points. I mean,
are we in a world where Jared Goff and Jameis Winston are actually?
Yeah, it's kind of scary, but luckily that's week 1, so maybe it's just not going to happen.
I think I'd rather have my right big toe play than draft.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to the week 2 matchups to get you guys set up and get going planning your week 2. Now, keep in mind, we're recording this before the Ravens play the Vegas Raiders. So if something happens in that game, follow us on Twitter at FanFootball411 or hit us up on social media. You'll see us there. We'll post whatever happened and what we think of it. If anything does happen, that's exciting. Otherwise, just know that. That's why we didn't mention any of those players or anything to do with that game.
Who do you like in tonight's game? Do you think Tyson Williams?
I think Tyson Williams is going to do well. I mean,
what do you see his future as with
I think he's going to
Murray and
I think he's going to get negative 18 points tonight. I think they're going to kind of have a two-headed monster there with Latavius and him. I think one of them's going to catch the ball more than the other one, and I think the other one's just going to be like a third down back. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say, but I think Tyson has potential to stand out. But I think if he doesn't show up tonight, then you're going to see Latavius more.
I agree.
Same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, wide receivers in Baltimore, I don't know. I didn't really go for any in the drafts because who knows what the heck is going to happen there. And Vegas, I don't know. Vegas, I have no interest in anybody on Vegas.
I know. Josh Jacobs, is he playing tonight?
Yeah, so is Kenyon Drake.
I thought he had an illness.
He has an illness, but I think he's going to play. I think so. Not sure. But either way, like I said, we didn't watch that game yet. Still about to happen. The week 2 matchups that we're looking at. Thursday night, we're looking at New York Giants playing Washington. I mean, I wish I had Washington's defense in that game. I can't see Giants winning that game. I don't want to play any Giants against Washington. If anything, maybe Sterling Shepard or Darius Slayton, but I'm not rushing out to grab them. I'd totally rather have Washington's Antonio Gibson or Terry McLaurin or De'Ami Brown maybe even stand out in this game. Giants defense, I think, is better than people give it credit for, but Washington's defense is stacked. I don't see any positive results coming out of that game. What do you think?
I mean, I think the Giants are going to get
smoked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that for that game. But to run through the rest, you got Steelers and Raiders on Sunday.
Yeah. Can we please Najee Harris? Can you I don't know.
I think this would be the game.
I mean, if you're going to do something, it would be.
Has to be against the Raiders.
Yeah. So please.
Because at least the Bills had a good defense, so it kind of shut them down a little bit. But otherwise, you got
But he was in the whole game. I don't know. You probably.
Oh yeah, he was.
But he. I think they said that the most he's played was he was compared to McCaffrey when he first started. That's how many snaps. He was in the whole game.
I want to care about Najee because I wanted him in the draft, but I ended up not getting any stock of Najee. So I honestly have to pretend I don't care. But the 49ers play the Eagles. That's a good matchup for the 49ers. Hopefully for Trey Sermon. Debo Samuel, fire him up. Garoppolo, if you have him, fire him up. Eagles, I think it's going to be competitive. I mean, look what the Lions just did against the 49ers. I thought the Niners were going to smoke the Lions. I mean, that's part of the reason why I didn't play DeAndre Swift. But I think Jalen Hurts is showing, some potential this season. Devontae Smith, I think they can fire it up. They just got to, hopefully the offensive line can stand up against Nick Bosa and that D line that 49ers have.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be as easy as they just had it. So I definitely think against the 49ers, they're going to have a little bit of a tougher matchup. But
yeah, but then you have the Browns playing the Texans on Sunday as well. Browns, I mean, like I said, Texans, I won't want any of them. Browns, fire them all up. Broncos with Jaguars, I'd fire up the Broncos. Hopefully the Jaguars look a little bit better this week. Obviously, you're going to play any Jaguar you have, but just know that the Broncos defense has one of the best cornerback rooms in the league. So temper your expectations on your wide receivers. Got anything about that one?
Nope.
Okay. The Saints and the Panthers. Saints defense looks insane. Actually, I know somebody that drafted them and then dropped them right before the game.
Okay, I drafted the Saints and I dropped them to pick up Green Bay because, they were going against Jameis Winston. So I thought for sure Green Bay is going to get some defensive points with turnovers.
Well, how many points did you get with Green Bay's defense?
Negative. And then the Saints defense had like 15. So stupid me. But who would have thought?
I might pick them up on waivers and trade them to you this week.
Maybe I'll get them.
You're probably going for them.
Going back for them.
Yeah. So they're going against the Panthers. I think, obviously, fire up their defense against Sam Darnold, 100%. I mean, I think Panthers defense did look a little bit better than most people gave it credit for. But then again, I mean, the Jets also looked horrible. So you never know. But that's a good one. I'd still fire up your Panthers, temper your expectations on the wide receivers again. But McCaffrey's obviously first pick in the draft. You play him no matter what. Darnold, I wouldn't play. I mean, I don't think you're playing Darnold anyways. I wouldn't play him, but I'd fire up all Saints all around. You also have the Rams and the Colts. Fire up the Rams, fire up the Colts. I think that's going to be a pretty good matchup there. I think you got to keep in mind of the Rams defense. Aaron Donald, one of the best defensive ends in the league, arguably the best, going against Colts front line. That's going to be tough for Jonathan Taylor. Temper expectations for him. But I do think that they're going to be able to go back and forth a little bit, but I think the Rams have that one pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, the Colts defense is supposed to be pretty good, so.
Yeah, hopefully they stand up. Bills and Dolphins playing in a divisional match there. Dolphins defense looked awesome. Bills were not that good on offense, so they're going to have to step it up in this one. Fire up all players, both sides. Honestly, I wouldn't really not play any of them. I would just know what the Dolphins defense can do.
We got the Patriots and the Jets week 2. Come on. You got Mac Jones against Mac Jones.
Who?
Nope, not again. Against Zach Wilson. So I think that's going to be a really good game.
And
I'm excited.
Who's going to be there?
I think we're going to be there.
We're going to be there at that game. So hopefully the Jets don't embarrass us like they did this past week. They're going against the Patriots at home. It's going to be fun.
What I recall, I don't think Mac Jones did all that great.
No, actually, Zach Wilson finished with more fantasy points than Mac Jones, so that was pretty impressive. Good thing. But yeah, so
we'll
give him credit on that. But that's going to be a fun matchup. I wouldn't really play, if anything, Corey Davis against the Patriots. I have to see more of Elijah Moore, and obviously you're not playing Zach Wilson yet. Jacoby Myers on the Patriots, I'd probably play him. I'd probably play Nelson Aguilar. I'd play the tight ends if you got them, Jonnu Smith, and the running backs. I'd play them all. What am I saying? I'd play all Patriots. I would not play all the Jets.
Bengals and the Bears.
Bengals and the Bears.
Joe Burrow.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Bears defense didn't show up as much as people thought it was going to this past week. So that's going to be interesting to see him out there against them. And I think he didn't look too bad. I mean, he had good fantasy points, right? He did really well this week, didn't he?
Sure did, on my bench.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So yeah, he had a good week. I'd fire up both sides. Same thing. That's a good matchup. Wouldn't temper anybody there. Falcons, Buccaneers. Matt Ryan did not look good. Calvin Ridley, owners.
Yeah, what the heck?
Should probably worry about him.
Stop it.
I mean, I would try to trade him, sell him low to me. I'll take them off your hands. But yeah, Tampa Bay is going to shut them down. That's going to be interesting. Play all Tampa Bay. I don't know. I mean, you have to play Calvin Ridley no matter what. I'm not saying don't play him. You got to play Kyle Pitts. But when you get down to Russell Gage or Mike Davis, I don't know. I don't know if I'd risk it.
Hopefully you have a better option.
Right.
Vikings and the Cardinals?
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
I think the Vikings can win that one.
I thought you were serious for a sec. Yeah, not happening. I think the Cardinals are going to beat them. I think the Vikings defense is good. I think they'll, definitely give them a fight. But I just think the Cardinals their D line now is just insane. And I think they're going to, shut down Dalvin, not shut him down, but I think they're definitely going to, reduce his volume, or they're definitely going to reduce Dalvin Cook's value this week with their D line with Chandler Jones and JJ Watt there. That D line is nothing to mess with. I think they're going to beat the Vikings there. Play all your Vikings. You have to. Play all your Cardinals. You have to. But I think that's the way it's going to go. Titans, Seahawks. I think that's going to be a shootout. I think Titans have a lot to prove after last week against the Cardinals. And Henry. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Forgot. Yeah. And I think he's going to produce against the Seahawks, though. I don't think you're going to have a problem with that.
And the Cowboys against the Chargers. That should be a good game. Play all your Cowboys.
I'd play both sides. I wouldn't temper any expectations on either side. I think that's a good competition there. Chiefs and Ravens to close off the Sunday matches. That's a good matchup as well. Play both sides. Just know Ravens defense is pretty good, but you're not going to sit any Chiefs. I mean, they're all awesome. I mean, I know we're like broad here, like, oh, play him. But I mean, this is how I really feel when I see these matchups.
Yeah, Monday night is the Lions and the Packers. So
there's another divisional one going together. Green Bay has to show up. They can't get any worse than they were this past week. So it's only up from here. Lions can't look any better. So they have to start going down. So this is going to be a fun match to watch. I mean, we're going to have to see what Aaron Rodgers does in this game. I have to play him again. So hopefully he doesn't do what he did to me this past week. But yeah, that's pretty much it for week 2 matchups. If we rambled on, I'm sorry, but this is your week 2 episode. Hopefully you were dominant in week 1. Hopefully you take some of the tips we said to you on the waiver wire segment into consideration. If you don't already, follow us on social media
at FanFootball411.
On YouTube, you can find us at Fantasy Football 411 Podcast. Go find us there. Go follow us. Subscribe wherever you see us. Thank you for watching in. Good luck this week.
Work that waiver wire. Get your guys going into week 2.
There you go. That's a wrap.